I've just got to make sure the recording's ready first. Welcome elected members, staff, guests and members of the public to the ordinary council meeting of the 30th of July 2025. I declare this meeting opened at 5:38. The City of Busselton acknowledges the Wardandi and the Bibliman people as the traditional custodians of this region and pays its respect to their elders past and present. This meeting is being audio recorded for minute-taking purposes and also being live streamed on the City of Busselton YouTube channel. The prayer this evening will be read out by Phil Ashton from the Busselton Christian Assembly. Phil, if you'd like to come forward. You have a particularly large audience tonight. Yeah, just take a seat and just press the button so the light comes on. Just press it once, that's all. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dear Lord Jesus, we just thank you for this evening. We thank you for all the people here. We are very thankful for all the councillors. Dear Lord, we are extremely thankful for them, for their time and effort, for their time away from family, the pressures that are on them, dear Lord. We just pray for them, every one of them and all their families. Lord, we thank you for the City of Busselton. We thank you for the infrastructure and all the works that go on. Lord, we just thank you that we can all work together on these things where the community can come and put a petition forward and the city can hear it and things can be worked through. We thank you for hearts that are for one another. Lord, community is built, and we just thank you, Lord, that community is built through one another, getting on with one another and understanding a way forward. So this evening, dear Lord, as we all gather this way and we work through these certain things, Lord, I pray that the heart of men and women in this room would have a thought for one another and for this community, not for a position for themselves, but what they leave behind and what they can give back to the community. So, Lord, I just give thanks for these things in your alone worthy and precious name. Amen.
Thank you very much, Phil. I appreciate that. Sorry, I'm just looking for some information. Okay, in attendance tonight, we have myself, Mayor Cronin, Deputy Mayor Anne Ryan, Councillor Val Kay, Councillor Andrew McNeish, Councillor Michaela Love, Councillor Kate Cox and Councillor Jared Kennedy, and I have an apology from Councillor Jodie Lee. Just on announcements, I want to congratulate Councillor Love for getting a WALGA Merit Award just recently, so that's a great honour and congratulations, and it shows you in great light as a councillor, and also it's great for the City of Busselton, so we appreciate you for getting that. I also have to mention, unfortunately, that the passing of John Valentine was a councillor with us from 1996 to 1997, and we do pass on our condolences to his wife and family. And just briefly, I think you know the CEO has left us, so it'll get a bigger mention later on, I'm sure. We have one disclosure of interest on item 12.1 from Councillor Kay, an impartiality interest. We now move on to item 5.1, which is responses to previous questions taken on notice, and we'll have these up on the screen for all to see. Okay, thank you. We now move on to question time for the public. In accordance with the City's meeting and information sessions and decision-making process, council policy, public question time will be limited to a maximum of 30 minutes as in the standing orders. I please request that members of the public asking questions limit the amount of preamble to their questions to allow the opportunity for as many people to ask questions as possible. I will otherwise ask you to put your questions to just send them in and we will respond to those. Should we exceed the maximum time allowable, anyone who has submitted questions which they have not had an opportunity to ask at the meeting will be provided and a response in writing. Just to give me an understanding, can I have a show of hands of those who would like to ask a question? Okay, so in fairness, I'm going to limit it to one question each. So choose your best question. That's only in the fairness. As you can see, we've had a long day. We've still got a council meeting to get through. So I'll try and point you out if I get your eye, and if you can just give us your name and where you're from for the record. Thank you very much. So who would like to ask a question? Ms Walsh, you can come forward. Sorry, it's one question, and the more preamble, the less time other people get questions. And we'll set the timer.
Jill Walsh, Busselton. I did register my question.
Thank you. Cool.
Councillor Ryan's original motion was to ban dogs from one small park in Bass. The City of Busselton officer recommendation expanded that to parks and beaches throughout much of the City of Busselton's borders. It is the administration that wants to expand this ban. Why? So extensively.
Question 6. Sorry, Mr CEO, if you can.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Mrs Walsh. In March 2024, yes, Councillor Ryan proposed a motion to restrict dog access at a specific park in Bass. However, that motion was subsequently withdrawn, and in May 2025, the ordinary council meeting, Councillor Ryan brought forward a new motion requesting a comprehensive citywide review of dog management controls. This motion was then adopted by the council, so a council resolution, and included a citywide consultation and an assessment of seasonal dog exercise areas. City officers supported this broader approach because, firstly, the council resolution explicitly called for a citywide review and not a location-specific ban. Secondly, a review was already due, with the last one completed in 2015. And thirdly, the community concerns about dog management are not limited to one park, and they span across beaches, reserves and urban areas across the district. And finally, a citywide approach ensures consistency, fairness and transparency on how dog access is managed and allows the community to help shape future controls. So no changes or bans have been proposed at this stage. The current action is a consultation and review of the existing dog management controls as directed by the council. The review is intended to gather community feedback and assess the effectiveness of the current arrangements before any recommendations are finally made.
Okay, thank you. I'll leave the mic on to speed things up.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And look, I do apologise, but I've just realised that we did have 10 bookings. But Jill, you were number 6, so that's good. The first booking was from Anna Johnson. Is Anna Johnson here? Thank you. Hi, Anna. Sorry? I think if we do, then no one else will speak because some people have got 7, 10 questions, and I would rather you maybe ask your best one. Is that fair, Anna?
I was told I had 3 questions.
Well,
And
if those 10
them
people
well in
want to use their
advance.
3 questions, they will, but then after that I'll do 1. So
right.
thank you. Sure.
My name's Anna Johnson. I have a dog and I vote. My first question to the council, and all my questions are in relation to the initial work done by the council prior to releasing the draft AMP, Animal Management Proposal. Of the 751 dog complaints that the COB references in the proposed AMP, how many in numbers were specifically dog beach related? Where's your evidence that there's a problem?
Mr. CEO, I'll get you to respond.
Thank you. Thanks for the question. So the city's customer management system doesn't actually capture the spatial location of recorded issues. So, look, sorry, if we don't have the data, we don't have it. However, the Tales of the City survey conducted in June and July in 2024, in which over 70% of respondents were dog owners, identified dog beach related concerns as a consistent theme. These concerns were also reflected in ranger observations over the summer months, particularly in relation to prohibited and seasonal areas. Relevant data was included in the dog areas report presented in the 25th of June OCM.
Thank you. Very helpful information. What percentage of the Busselton population was represented by the initial survey respondents?
So the initial public survey conducted in June and July had 196 submissions,
Yep.
with 154 pet owners, of which 90% were
I know what the
dog
numbers
owners.
are. What
Yep.
percentage of the Busselton population was that?
When I finish my answer.
Okay.
Thank you. This equates to roughly 0.43% of the Busselton population, if you assume that the Busselton population is over 45,000 people.
Correct. So of the 58 people that participated in the workshop, therefore, this is part of my same thing, just after the numbers here, what percentage of the population did that actually represent?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
I'll skip it and get to my last question. What steps were specifically undertaken to ensure consultation access for non-online users, people with disabilities, people with barriers to communication prior to the AMP coming out?
Sorry? Did you say elderly?
No, that was from the
Oh,
gallery.
somebody else, was it? No. Handy. So, look, thank you. The city undertook a comprehensive multi-channel consultation approach to support both the draft animal management plan and the dog beach review. Engagement activities included workshops, pop-up information sessions and surveys promoted via the City Connect newspaper.
In the initial
Sorry.
survey? Sorry to interrupt, but in the initial survey, prior to the current stuff that's listed
There's a
now?
range of avenues that we took, but look, I think does that answer your question, or I can continue if you like?
No.
Okay. So we also included Facebook, Instagram, local library notice boards, electronic signage, vet clinics and the Beta Bay newsletter. Posters were distributed to the leisure centres, including in the initial consultation phase. Targeted outreach included direct communication with dog trainers, local dog groups and residents who have previously contacted the city. So it's been quite a range of consultation out there.
All right, I'll leave it there.
Thank you.
I rest my case.
Thank you. Next, we have Jane Bennett.
I think I put a question in, Phil, on notice. Is that right?
Yeah, so I've got you down here.
I haven't got it on me, but
Oh.
I had it there.
I could read it for you, maybe. Sorry, where is it?
Number 2.
They put it in green with black writing, so it's a bit, I'm struggling here. When the city is required to let ratepayers and residents know about certain issues, activities, for example, have your say surveys, special meetings, AGM, what is the due process for advertising of these issues, activities to the community?
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for the question. Thanks, Mrs. Bennett. So it's a range. So unless the Act specifically states, the Local Government Act specifically states a local public notice or state public notice, it is to be provided in relation to a matter, or unless provisions apply from another Act, such as the Planning and Development Act or other acts that we administer. It is at the city's discretion as to how it engages with the community on matters. So the council has a community engagement policy, so that's probably more the pertinent one, and framework to guide the city's community engagement and consultation activities. To more specifically answer the questions though, the Local Government Act specifically prescribes what a local public notice is and a state public notice is. So therefore, at 1.7, a local public notice is under the Act. A local public notice is to be published on the website, local government of the local government, or at least 3 other ways, which include Facebook, etc., along those sorts of lines as well. Statewide public notice is also outlined in the Act, where it is prescribed as well, and that includes papers circulating the district, so on and so forth. So it's outlined really in the Act and regs. So it depends on the circumstance and what's required.
Can I ask another question?
If you wish.
Just obviously that leads to, I guess, the huge problem that people have identified is that they're not seeing the notices. Now, I know you can't be all over everything, but for example, the rates meeting that was at 4 o'clock, we can't find anywhere where that was advertised. There was something on Facebook which didn't allude to that it was a rates meeting. So the only place we can find record of it is on the website, if you look in the agenda, if you happen to be able to find it. It wasn't in the newspaper. Now, isn't that required by law?
No, because I called it as a special council meeting, so it would have been only about maybe a week's notice.
Published on the website.
Yeah.
So
So you're saying that's legal?
Yeah, special council meetings are under have different regs that apply to that.
I guess if you think about it, though, it wouldn't have been that hard to put it on Facebook to give the community an opportunity to attend. That's been the feedback.
Yeah, no.
So if you can listen to that or choose not to.
Sure. No. Thank you for that question. And look, I will say that this is something that we dabble with all the time, is trying how do we get out to people, and we're all aware of it. We get, sometimes you get a message from WhatsApp or this, that and the other, and we get so much information. It is very difficult nowadays. The old days, it was the newspaper. Everyone read the newspaper. Now it's just so many different channels. So we constantly work on different ways. We've even talked about putting up the big notice boards, like which we did for the dog survey. But again, not everyone sees those.
Well, the newspaper is, you had a 2-page spread on Friday.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why it couldn't have gone in there?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. But we will. Yeah. Okay. Next, I have a question from Erica Marwood.
My question was based around my lifestyle. I suppose I work at the hospital. I'm very stressed. It's very busy. I need to take my dogs to the beach. Have you considered the mental health of the humans? Because I take my dogs to the beach every morning and every evening, and I need it for me. My dogs also need it, but I really need it for me. And if I'm forced to walk with them on a lead on the beach, that's taking my freedom away as theirs. And if I'm forced to have to drive to another beach, like I specifically bought my house in Geograph for that dog beach.
Yeah, thank you. Look, thank you for sharing that. And, I understand the importance that beach dog access is in that. We've heard from the recent surveys from a lot of people saying how it was important to them. And I will highlight the fact that, yes, we are still in this process. And I will reiterate that this came about because the policy had not been reviewed for 10 years, and therefore it came up through some consultations, and it is thrown out. It's not a per se proposal. It is saying, hey, how do people feel about this? Because some people I've spoken to who are also very nervous of dogs. Their child may have been attacked, or they just can't. No, and this is our job as councillors to listen, but I'm not saying if we've got certain beaches that are already, if we have certain beaches that are already excluded, this is a fantastic opportunity for the community to finally, after 10 years, come back to us and say, it sounds like happy with the status quo. But we've had 2,400 submissions. We just had the budget. Do you know how many submissions we had? 93. So I'm saying it is important, and I can promise you that the council will be listening to the community on this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I have a question from Damien Sheridan. If you'd like to come forward, thank you.
Yeah, I'm from Geograph. Just what are the exact reasons specific to the Groyne Road Geograph off the leash dog exercise area for changing that beach to dog prohibited area?
Okay. Mr. CEO, sorry.
Yeah, thank you. So that was obviously something that we received in feedback through the workshops. So it's obviously listed as an option. So if that's something that's not supported by the community, certainly send that feedback in, and I'm sure that'll be taken into consideration.
Look,
That was from responses from members of the public through the workshops.
so maybe three or four
Because it's
people.
been changed to
I can't answer for
prohibited.
that.
It's been changed to prohibited.
Yeah, sorry, thank you. And you have another, I'm sorry, do you have another question?
No, the other ones I think have been covered anyway.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Next, I have Ernest Turpin.
Thank you very much. I'm Ernest Turpin from Busselton. I do actually have 3 questions. The first one is, will the council allow the public access to the findings of the survey and submissions prior to any changes actually taking place?
Thank you. Mr. CEO.
So yes, that will come through with the consultation report through to the council, and that will be publicly available.
Yeah. So again, just to reiterate what will happen, I believe the consultation closes on the 10th of August.
Yep.
Once that's done, the 3,000 submissions will be correlated. They will be put into a report. That report will be presented to us in the agenda, and you get the agenda the same day that we get this agenda. Is that correct? Am I correct, Ms. Pearson, that we won't have a briefing beforehand, or?
I'm not sure about a briefing, but the agenda is released.
Yeah,
on the
but
same
that's,
day.
the agenda comes out the day we receive it, the same time, and you will have the same 10 days that we have to review that. Then you will have an opportunity, or as a group, to come and present to council, deputise, but also you'll see the recommendations from the officers, and you'll see the full results.
Okay, that answers my second question then too.
Thank you.
Third one is in the result, if the results of the survey are a majority no, will the Busselton Council abandon the proposed beach changes and request any changes to the AMP?
Well, because that hasn't come to council yet, we wouldn't be able to, but I would suggest that we would be listening. I cannot talk about something that has to come before, come on. I can't talk about anything that comes before council, otherwise I'll be leaving the room and you won't let me vote, so.
Thank you very much.
Hope you appreciate that, thank you. Okay, next I have Mariah Goria. Hello, Mariah.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming. I have 3 questions. I've already lodged a few of them, but I just wanted to go back to what Jane Bennett just said in regards to the advertising of the 4 o'clock meeting. Am I correct in saying that you said that was only a week's notice for that meeting, that you called it a week ago? Is that what you just said, Phil Cronin?
Maybe it was.
Because I have a screenshot of it and it was posted on the 10th of July, so that's 20 days ago, and it was not on the newspaper. I have checked.
For the special council meeting.
Sounds like you answered your own question, thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to ensure that you said that. That's what I wanted to know. Did you say a week ago, Phil Cronin? That's my question.
If I got it wrong, then I apologise, but I'll be honest, I've spent 3 weeks in bed with influenza, so.
Okay, that was my question. And then I have 2 more. Does the City of Busselton acknowledge that the community engagement session held during April school holidays was not adequately advertised and was misleading as it did not state the intention to discuss dog beaches, referring only to the draft animal management plan?
Let's see.
I'd have to check that advertising. I'd say, Ms. Gorey, so happy to get back to you on that.
I can email it to you. I've got a picture of that too.
Do you once again know the answer to that question?
I said you'd have to check, so I mean...
I'm happy to check. I don't have it in front of me right now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I don't think that's the question you submitted, though.
Sorry?
I don't think that's the question you submitted.
I did submit that question, yeah. Yeah, I did. But I'm happy to send you a picture of the newspaper article.
Thanks.
And my last question is, the City of Busselton has underperformed in community satisfaction surveys against the industry average scores for how the community is consulted on local issues. And City has a good understanding of community needs on 5 out of 6 scores across 2017, 2020, 2024 community surveys. The market reports linked to the City of Busselton Community Engagement webpage. What changes has the City of Busselton made to their community engagement strategy to improve community consultation and gain a better understanding of the community needs since the 2024 market report was published? And how do you think the changes are effective?
So thanks for the question. While the score's an industry average, information from verbatim feedback indicated that the community were aware of projects and how to provide feedback, but often did not understand why certain council decisions were made, particularly when they appeared to contradict community input. In response, the City reviewed and updated its community engagement framework and policy to clarify council decision-making and roles of the staff, elected members and the community. The council minutes from the 12th of February 2025 outlines this in more detail. Officers have also enhanced communication efforts by increasing the volume and clarity around information shared. City Connect advertising now features a dedicated Have Your Say section, consolidating all open projects and updates to improve visibility. Efforts are ongoing to improve detail and transparency of information on the Your Say project pages, and the website now directly lists open engagement projects. An updated internal evaluation has also been implemented.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Next, I have a question from Yvonne Ennis.
Yvonne Innes, Busselton. So I'd like to ask, has the City of Busselton increased the ranger staffing and budget to reflect the increase in the pet numbers within the city over the past few years?
Thanks for the question. Yes, the resourcing of the Ranger Services team has increased since 2012. The City annually reviews its service area resourcing and model provision to reflect changes in the community, including population growth, pet registration trends is one we look at as well, and community feedback. In the 24-25 summer, the service model over summer was adjusted to directly respond to community requests for more visual ranger presence, increasing staffing on weekends and public holidays in the busy period to a minimum of 5 rangers and extending the standard hours of operation between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m.
Okay, so why in the 25 years of myself living in Busselton, walking my dog regularly on several beaches, have I never seen a ranger enforcing the rules on the beach?
Yeah, so we probably need to take into consideration that the rangers patrol a very wide area and prioritise locations based on seasonal activity as well. Complaints and risk assessments. So while visibility may vary, dog management enforcement remains a core part of their responsibilities. Around 1,500 square kilometres here at the City of Busselton, so it's pretty hard to get across to everything, and rangers are also responsible for not only dog management but also, bushfire, etc. as well. So it's they're out and about quite a bit, but maybe not be in the spot when you're...
Yeah, therein lies the problem for your proposal, but never mind. What efforts and extra resources are currently provided by the City of Busselton to ensure awareness and education to our tourists on the already strict and existing dog laws and the beaches and youth?
Yeah, thank you. The City promotes awareness of dog exercise areas through signage at the beach access points, online resources and engagement with local tourism operators to help inform visitors of dog-related regulations. The range of resourcing also increases over the busier tourism periods to support balancing the amenity of public areas for all users through the increase of presence and patrols.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, I have Jacqueline Choney.
This is a bit intimidating.
Oh.
Just a short question. Regarding the proposals, how were the beaches selected and on what basis for the proposal changes, for example, dog-friendly, on-leash and prohibited? And the one that gets me the most is seasonal because every beach is deserted at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Understood. Thanks for the question. And obviously that's based on the feedback we got from those workshops, et cetera, as I mentioned before. But certainly encourage, if you haven't already, please put in a submission to the consultation, and that'll be taken on board when council considers the item.
So this will all be taken into account with our surveys?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And lastly on my list is Karen Han. Karen Han, are you here?
Happy to respond with Minister.
Yeah, we'll respond. We've got her question on. Right, it's all right. We've got the question here. We'll respond because we've only got a limited time now for. Do you want to ask her question? Okay, you can ask her question then. Thank you. Yes. Sorry, I thought you were going to ask another question. I thought then queue jumping.
Okay. My name is Petra, and I'm from Quindelup, and a lot of being talked about Busselton here. I think Dunsborough and Quindelup is also really important to consider. I'm interested to, just two things quickly. What were the specific criteria that informed the proposal to completely close the beach for dogs from Elmore Road to the Quindelup boat ramp?
Sorry,
that's not the question.
Yeah, it wasn't the question I've got here.
However, it's not a decision to close.
I know, I understand. But what informed that decision for a proposal?
And as I
that was
mentioned in the
question.
previous answer to the question, it was the workshops and the feedback that we'd had around using that as a possible option. So if it's not what's required, obviously send back in your feedback and council can consider that. So it's not a decision,
I
it's
understand.
just an idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, the question that comes after that is, I actually went to the workshops in April, and I, my table and myself made a number of suggestions to increase access for dogs, particularly in the Dunsborough-Quindelup area. None of these have been reflected in the proposed changes, and I'm very disappointed about that.
So
I spent 3 hours.
I'll rephrase that question if I may, just because I'm getting in trouble. But so your question is, why were your comments not included in that feedback from those surveys?
And I'd like to say that I've already discussed a couple of those questions with two of the rangers, and they've explained to me why. But there are other proposals, other ideas that came forward, particularly in regards to Quindelup Beach, which have not been at all taken into account. In fact, the opposite. I've talked to many people during that workshop.
So I'm going to have to, I've got to limit you to the questions because otherwise it's going to be unfair.
Well, that's the question.
Yeah,
you know?
no, thank you.
Nothing has come from that, from the 3 hours investment. And
Petra, if I could maybe provide a response, if that's okay, is that I think that the good thing is that we've heard that now, and I think that the councils will be able to take that into consideration, and I'm sure your submission will probably consider things like that as well. So,
it has, yeah.
And so happy to make sure that obviously gets taken down in these proceedings as well.
And also to highlight that these questions, all the councillors are hearing, so it's us listening to the community. So do we have another question? I'm going to have to, yes sir, you can come forward, as long as you switch your phone off. Just your name, where you're from, appreciate it. And we've got 3 minutes left.
My name is Paul Mainwaring. I'm from Busselton. It's been advised to me that the Busselton village, I think it's called, up in Port Geograph, they're presently doing renovations.
Oh, the beach resort, yes.
Made representation through somebody to the Shire to have the beach in front of their premises closed to dogs.
Okay, so the question is,
There's no question, it's a fact of life.
Well, I'm going to ask it as a question so that I can get an answer for you. So the question is, did that development, the owners, contact the city, and I'm assuming you're saying make a request to not have dogs in front of their...
I don't know if they made a threat or how they did it or what they did it or they gave you someone money.
No.
But it just happened.
No, please, let me just ask the question. That's all. That's all. So no, because this question's come up.
I mean, this is
I'd like
how
to know
this thing
the answer as well. So
Not to my knowledge, I can categorically say I didn't take any money. No, not to my knowledge. So they did obviously put in a DA for their development back when they first applied for the development there. But
Can you speak up? A lot of people can't hear.
Sorry.
No. As in not, no, it has not been, as far as I'm aware.
sorry, I'm going to direct, if I may, to Director Barber, who is the planning community.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. In terms of,
I'll get out of your hair and I'll leave it at that. Give somebody else a chance.
I'll just
You've
answer
got
it.
2.5.
I'm curious what the answer is. I'll give you 2 more minutes.
In terms of whether it was a specific request, we would have to check. I don't have that
Don't have to
information.
check, I'm telling you now.
I don't have that information in front of me. But I can say we get requests throughout the year from many members of the community around what their opinions are on dog beaches, and all those things get factored in. But I guess that's why we're consulting, so the community can tell us as a whole what their opinions are, and then we take that into consideration.
And I think we are getting a big hole. So thank you. Do I have another question? The man with the long beard. Trevor Avery. Mr. Avery, isn't it?
Trevor Avery, yes. 201 Lyle Road, Rabin. I'll give you a break from the dogs.
This is the last question, I'm afraid. So.
Yeah. Oh, well, I've got all the time in the world. I've got a lot of preamble. I won't go through it, but this is to do with the proposed 13-year temporary road closure of Princeville Road in Yow by Doral Mineral Sands. Our community out there, we don't support it. A lot of us, and I think you'll know that with the submissions that you've received so far. I've had a lot of dealings with Doral, and 13 years will probably more mean 18 years plus. But can I have my 3 questions, or I'll have one?
I'm going to have to.
I'll do your deal. I'll do
I'll give you
and I'll
one.
put the others in for next meeting.
Thank you.
So in the recent past,
but do send them in.
Yeah, in the recent past, Doral's community relations officer has made comment to some of the local community members that the 13-year temporary, and that still cracks me up, 13 years in temp, road closure is all but a given. This comment is somewhat supported by the trailer-mounted electronic device notice boards that were positioned on Princeville Road by Doral at the request of the City of Busselton. These boards stated road closure January 2026. So my question, has the City of Busselton already struck a deal with Doral and be recommending council to approve the 13-year temporary road closure, meaning that all submissions and advertising was just a tick in the box requirement, allowing the closure request to move on to the next stage in January 2026?
Thank you, Trevor, for your question. Mr. Sear?
No, the answer to that is no. So obviously those submissions would come through a bit like the dog situation, is that once those submissions come in, that gets collated, put to the council for consideration and a decision.
So then why did they have notice boards up saying road closure, not proposed road closure, but road closure January 2026? And why would their public relations officer...
Sorry?
Why would their public relations officer be going around telling people that it's a done deal?
Yeah, look, I can't speak for them, but I'm happy to follow that up for you, Mr. Avery.
That'd be great.
So it's not a done deal. It's something that would need to have a decision of the council for either outcome.
Yeah, I fully understand that, but Doral seems to understand that it's just going to happen.
Sure.
Okay.
Trevor, thank you very much for your question. We've come to the end of question time, and I do apologise, but we do have an ordinary council meeting to get through. As I said, there are a lot of submissions coming in. There are a lot of opportunities for you to still come in and talk to council at the CAS session if you want. So that's the community access sessions. And when this comes up, I'm sure you will be notified very quickly that it's an agenda item, because I know how well Facebook seems to work, except we can't seem to get the messages out. But yeah, and thank you very much for your time. If you wish to stay for the rest of the council meeting, you're more than welcome. But otherwise, I'll just give you a few minutes to leave. But thank you very much. And if you have any questions, I will receive your calls. Thank you. We'll just take a couple of minutes, councillors. Okay, I'm going to get back into the council meeting, so appreciate a little bit of quiet. If you want to talk to the press, maybe Daniel, you can head outside. Just note that Councillor Caig's not here. Okay, I now move on to item 6.1. This is the petition for the support of unhosted short stay accommodation in Dunsborough Lakes and Windermere. Do I have a mover? No. Moved Councillor Ryan, seconded Councillor Kennedy. Is there any opposition? Being no opposition, I put the motion. All those in favour? The motion is all those against? Sorry. All right, I'll just...
Sorry, Mr Mayor, we're not waiting for Councillor Caig to consider this item.
She's decided not to do what you think she's going to do anyway. So
Has she left the meeting?
she's coming back now. All right. Well, that was a long 2 minutes. Councillor Caig has returned to the meeting. Yeah, we're still in the council meeting, so you have to request to leave. I know 2 minutes to wait for people to leave. Okay, Councillor Caig, I just put up item 6.1. It's been moved by Councillor Anne Ryan and seconded by Councillor Kennedy. Okay, is there any opposition? Being no opposition, I put the motion. All those in favour? Motion is carried 7-0. Thank you. Now move on to item 8.1, is that the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on 28th of May 2025 be confirmed as a true and correct record. Do I have a mover?
I'm happy to move it
Sure.
as an amendment, and I believe the CEO has taken it.
This is on the 28th of May one as well?
Oh,
Sorry, yes, okay. I'll move this motion, okay. Is there a seconder? There is a seconder, Councillor Love. Is there any opposition? There is opposition, therefore, thank you. I'll move the motion as it is. I understand there was a fair bit of confusion with regards to the minutes. It was a very confusing item, and there was. I've personally gone through and looked at these minutes, and I can also say I've spent a lot of time on them. But the outcome of the meeting was as it was, and I believe them to be true and correct, and I hope the councillors would vote accordingly. Thank you very much. Seconder. Councillor Love, you seconded?
Reserve my right of reply, thank you.
Okay. Opposition? Councillor McNeish, if you wish to speak.
Yes, I have a amendment that could be on the screen if that would be possible. There it is. And I'm doubting that the outcome that you talked of, Mayor, doesn't change. It's just minutes are a record of what happened. This happened. It actually happened. Confusion, okay. There was confusion, okay. But this happened. Listen to the recording. the timestamp, me seeking confirmation that it was actually an amendment. So, no one needs to impute that it might have been an alteration, it might have been something. This happened. And this is what minutes are about, capturing what actually happened. So it's a couple of sentences that capture what actually happened. If anyone is interested, the outcome doesn't change, but if anyone's interested, they just go to the timestamp and have a read of it. That's it, that simple.
Thank you, Councillor McNish. Is there a speaker for? Speaker against? Yeah, sorry, my apologies. So we have an amendment in front of us. Do I have a seconder for the amendment? I do have a seconder. Is there opposition? Being no opposition, I put the motion for the amendment. All those in favour? All those against? The motion is lost to 5. And those voting for was Councillor Amrine and Councillor McNish. We now return to the substantive motion that we have in front of us. Do I have a speaker for? Speaker against? Councillor, you've already spoken and you took that opportunity to put an amendment. Apologise. Okay, speaker against? I can't let you speak twice. Councillor and Ryan. Sure.
I think we've been through this before. It's so important to ensure that the minutes are correct. I think now this is probably the 5th occasion that, indicative of the next minutes that I don't believe were true and correct either. So I just think it's a non-issue, and but Councillor McNish has made it an issue, so therefore I just ask that the minutes be correct, because in future, when you look back on them, it needs to be a true record. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker for? Speaker against? Councillor Love, you reserved your right.
I have nothing to add, thank you.
Yeah. My rebuttal. I'm sorry, we don't usually go down to this degree. It was of information. What we do is record the outcomes, and I appreciate the things, but if I'm just to quote from any of I actually did the full recordings, and it was, so Councillor McNish said, I'm foreshadowing that I'm going to clarify this motion by pausing rather than ceasing. Don't want to waste any work, just pause the process rather than cease it, and give the CEO's clear implementation sentence because, yes?
Sit down, point of order. You're not rebutting, you're reading out something that hasn't occurred during the debate.
I'm rebutting that you said that it was clear what you did and it was within the recordings. So yeah. I'm actually refuting that what was in the recordings is in the recordings, and I am reading the transcript of this. So you can put that to the vote if you wish. But look, I'm not going to go any further, but the point is it was very confusing. It was the meeting went all over the place, and I'm not saying yes or no, but I don't believe this needs to be recorded as such. So that's all I'll say, and I wish councillors to take that on board. So therefore, I put the motion. All those in favour? So that's Mayor Cronin, Councillor Kay, Councillor Love, Councillor Cox, Councillor Kennedy, and against Councillor Ryan and Councillor Manish. Thank you. Item 8.2, that the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on 25th of June 2025 be confirmed as a true and correct record. Do I have a mover?
I will move, Mr Mayor, but with that amendment where in my declaration I said I am unable and unwilling, and I believe the staff are happy to take that on and make that amendment. Thank you.
Sure. Do I have a seconder? Councillor McNish. That amendment's not in play at the moment, just be aware, so I will ask you to speak to the motion if there is opposition. Is there opposition? Being no opposition, I put the motion. All those in favour? With the amendment, carried 7-0. I now put the substantive, which is 8.2, with the amendment. And is there any opposition? Being no opposition, sorry, so we've put you've moved it, you seconded it, we did the amendment. Did I get a seconder for the amendment? Did have a seconder for the amendment. We voted on the amendment. Now we're going to the substantive, so this is the minutes with the amendment. Is everyone happy with that? So that I now put that motion. All those in favour? All those carried 7-0, absolute majority. Thank you. Item 10 is item brought forward for convenience for those in the public gallery. We now move these items brought forward for the adoption by exception resolution. So these are on block. The recommendation, the officer's recommendations for items 12.1, 12.2, 12.3, 13.1 and 16.1 be adopted on block. Do I have a mover? I have 12.1 written down, but I will remove that. Sorry, because that's been pulled out because of a disclosure of impartiality interest. I repeat, this is item 12.2, 12.3, 13.1 and 16.1. Do we have that on the screen? No, we don't. Okay. Do I have a mover for those? Thank you, Councillor Craig. Is there a seconder? Councillor Kennedy. Is there any opposition? Being no opposition, I put the motion. All those in favour? Those, thank you, Councillor Cox. Carried 7-0. Items to be dealt with separately. We have item 12.1, which is the Community Assistant Grant Assessment 25-26 Round 1. Councillor Craig, you wish to make a disclosure.
I declare an impartiality interest in item 12.1 as I am a financial member with voting rights for the Busselton Repertory Club, who are a recipient of a grant for $10,000 for their pantomime. I am not on the committee. As a consequence, there may be a perception that my impartiality on the matter may be affected. I can declare that I will consider the item solely on its merits and act accordingly.
Thank you, Councillor Craig. Do I have a mover for this motion? Move, Councillor Kennedy. Seconder? Councillor Cox, is there opposition? Being no opposition, I put the motion. All those in favour? The motion's carried 7-0. Thank you. Councillor Craig, if you can switch your microphone off, please. Okay, item 17.1, notice of motion, Behaviour Complaints Committee. Councillor Cox, do you wish to move this?
No, Mr Mayor, I wish to withdraw this notice of motion, please.
Thank you, therefore that lapses. Okay, item 18, which is urgent business. Sorry, I thought this was is this confidential? Yeah, it's not.
You first need to approve it. You need to vote to accept the matter as a matter of urgent business.
Okay, I do apologise. Okay, so prior to the meeting, a confidential item titled CEO Resignation was distributed to the Council as presiding member, and in regard to clause 5.9 of the standing orders, I have consented to the consideration of this item as an item of urgent business. Should Council resolve to consider this as an item of urgent business, it will then be considered as a confidential item in accordance with section 5.232A. Do I have a mover to consider this item of urgent business titled CEO Resignation? Do I have a mover? I have a mover, Councillor Ryan, seconded Councillor Craig. Is there any opposition? Being no opposition, I put the motion. All those in favour? The motion is carried 7-0. This now moves into item 19 as item 19.4 of the CEO Resignation. We now move into the confidential items. We have 4 reports of a confidential nature in accordance to, or is that 5 now? In accordance to section 5.232A and 5.23B of the Local Government Act 1994. In order to maintain the confidentiality of these items, I will seek a decision to close the meeting to the members of the public. I believe the members of the public have already got the gist. Thank you very much for your time. Do I have a mover to close the meeting to the public? Moved Councillor Kennedy. Do I have a seconder? Seconded Councillor Cox. Is there any opposition? Being no opposition, I put the motion. All those in favour? The motion is carried 7-0. I would now request that only those required to be in the room remain for the... How are we going to do this? Because different people could be in the room. Just for the public, all those items went through as per the officer's recommendation. I now declare, our next meeting will be on the 13th of August. Thank you very much. And I close the meeting at 6:57. I thank everyone for their attendance. Thank you, councillors. Thank you, officers. And thank you, directors.